What hospital is this? Can you hear us? This is Dr. Narayan here. And we have with us Dr. Pinto in the chair and Dr. Samir Mehrotra as a panelist. Can you hear us? Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead and tell us about your case.
We were not showing the RS moving here.
Yeah, we can hear you. You can hear us?
LED bifurcation lesion, Medina 111, and there is a long lesion involving the right coronary. 2 days back we did the right coronary alpine stenting, a long stenting was done, and using ambulance guide catheter. Today we are doing LED bifurcation, that is Medina 111. Already we will show some views what we have done. Show the first view. Go to the.
We cannot see the angiograms nor.
First show the angiogram. Yeah, this is the angiogram. Are you able to see? Yeah. There's a big diagonal. Go to the next one. Big diagonal, very tight stenosis of the diagonal margin. Next. Go to the next. See here, very tight stenosis of the diagonal and LED. Compared to LED, diagonal looking more tight. Just we did the OCT study of the LED run, which showed 1.7 square millimeter. Very, very tight stenosis of the LED also. We'll show the OCT run. You can show 3D reconstruction of the OCT was done. You can. Run. You can run. Yeah. Thick fibrosis, almost encroaching under the OCT catheter, very tight lesion. It's more of fibrosis. We don't see any calcification. So thick fibrotic lesion, and OCT wise area estimate is about 2.8 to 2.9 square millimeter, and this is LMCA. So already we have crossed the LED and diagonal. Go to the, that is Xi'an blue into the diagonal and BMW into the LED, pre-dilated with 2.5 balloon in the diagonal and 3 mm balloon of LED, and subsequently we implanted one BBS into the diagonal. So then this is post dilatation. You can see the almost like a T stenting. Yeah.
There is a 3 mm balloon in the LED.
So at the time of implanting the BBS, what we did, we put the 3 mm balloon and inflated. We wanted to see that only encroaching onto the ostium of the diagonal. So in order to avoid the extension into the LED, so we inflated the LED balloon and pulled the. Then when the LED balloon is inflated, then it's dilated. That is, you can see the 2 markers of the BBS stent already implanted. Post dilatation was done. That is 3 mm balloon, 3 to 15 mm balloon. Again, post dilatation of the BBS of the diagonal was done with 3 to 8 mm balloon. So now we'll be implanting the BBS to LED, give the BBS. Any questions or any suggestions from the panel?
So what basically you set up this bifurcation strategy, correct?
Yeah, T-stenting.
So you want a V-stenting with 2 BVS?
Yeah, T-stenting with BBS, because LED is also very, very tight.
Right.
Medina 111.
Right.
Though angiographically it was not looking that tight, but only LEO cardinal showed LED very tight. So we wanted to move it with OCT. OCT showed the LED MLA is about 1.7 square millimeter, very, very tight, almost encroaching onto the OCT catheter.
Right. just want to know what is your kind of follow-up for these kind of BVS patients where you do bifurcation.
Yeah, I've been doing this,
Have you been doing this? Have you been doing this regularly? And do you have some kind of a follow-up strategy on this?
Yeah, we have been doing for the past 3 years. Actually, one of my first BVS bifurcation, that where we did L6 and OM bifurcation. Two BVS, one is 3.5 to 18, another 3 to 18 stents for implant and OM and L6. He completed 2 years, 9 months recently. Actually, he was supposed to come today for OCT follow-up study. We wanted to show today that follow-up study also. But unfortunately, he is coming next week. So we did almost 20 cases of bifurcation. In that one, two-channel strategy we did for 3 patients, remaining on like provisional stenting. Only thing is when all cases were done with BVS, but last 3 months almost we implanted 108 BVS so far. But all are doing very well. We didn't have any mortality. Only one patient died. That is because of the not because of the acute coronary disease. He had a falciparum malaria, elevated LFT, and that time patient had a recurrent refractory angina. For that sake, the mortality was due to some other. But we didn't have any other mortality. Stable patient.
Doesn't become a life.
One little question that since you showed a lot of fibrotic issues in the OCT, you said the lesion was very fibrotic, and you plan to implant BRS or a BVS. How would you modify that lesion? You use a routine balloon, or you would use a angiosculpt, etc. to
So
sort of?
angiosculpt can be used, but it's yielding very well, nicely. When you see balloon expansion is very smooth. For that sake, we didn't use the really very not yielding. Definitely, we have kept the 2.5 to 12 mm the cutting balloon also. But we wanted to go into cutting balloon only if it is not yielding. But I am very comfortable because the OCT image did show it's a very thick fibrotic, but it's yielded very well.
2 questions. One is, what about your dual antiplatelet strategy with BVS, especially bifurcations? Are you using the more potent antiplatelet agents, or are you still continuing with clopidogrel? Are you using ticagrelor or something of that sort? Do you have any specific strategy?
BVS patients, most of the time, they'll be on ticagrelor plus aspirin combination, loading dose 90 milligrams. Tablets loading dose followed by 1 mg. Most of the time we keep for 12 months, but nowadays we are maintaining for 3 months, and after that we are stopping and going ahead with Protect and aspirin combination, Protect plus aspirin combination.
Okay,
Some patients when they are saying some problem with aspirin, initially saying some financial issue, then most of the time BVS patients they don't have any financial issue.
I think if you put BVS, there's no financial issue at all. So, no, my second point to you was about the preparation of the bed, which he was also asking out over here. No, I'm just asking you about the preparation of the bed, of the bed pre-implantation of the stent. Do you follow an OCT strategy in all your BVS patients, or do you do it only selectively? Can you hear?
Yeah. Already adequate preparation was done because the OCT size was about 2.8, it was dilated to 3.8. Even diagonal was dilated to 2.5 mm.
So I just wanted to ask whether you use the OCT in all your BVS patients.
What is not?
Not clear?
Do you use the OCT, Dr. Sridhar? Do you use in all patients or in selected patients?
Yeah, 90% of BVS patients we use OCT, but sometimes recently we did bifurcation primary PCA in the midnight. Very young patient, like 37-year-old. So he had a acute anterolateral FI, he had a diagonal total occlusion and LAD tight lesion. Because 37-year-old, for that sake, what we wanted to provide the BVS so that like a 4 years later, if he has a natural bifurcation without any jailing of the branches, would have been happy. So for that sake, so in that case, midnight technician was not available. Then in such cases, we don't use OCT. Otherwise, 90% of the patients we use with the OCT, or at least we use IVs. But we prefer most of the OCT.
Dr. Sridhar, once you implant the BVS, then we'll go off to Bangalore after that. Can you just proceed?
You're going to the
So
others.
just one question. So, see, you are putting 2 BVS. So, would you like our people sitting here to know whether you are going to have some change in your technique? when you are putting a BVS compared to 2 DAS? And secondly, are you going to do OCT after putting the BVS also?
Yeah, after BBS compulsory we have to do the, I will tell one incident, one patient, we did the, like a BBS, we went for high pressure and subsequently patient had a BBS fracture and which was restended with metallic yes. So particularly when size mismatch, when we think like a 3.5, but actually sizing is very, very particular in BBS, only 5 mm, 0.5 mm. So if you took the right step for the right vessel, definitely it's a good step. Only thing is OCT post-mortem compulsory, like any plaque products is there, have you missed any dissection is there, maloperation is there, suppose good apposition is there, definitely if you are not missing the dissections, definitely long-term outcome will be very good. That was shown in IVS studies as well as the preliminary OCT study has shown TLR, TDR less, definitely the long-term outcome will be much better through the image evidence.
In your clinical practice, have you given up the hybrid strategy for bifurcations? Is it all the time going to be 2 BVSs or 3 BVSs or?
No, most of the time there is thick fibrous calcification is there, very calcified, we use metallic TS and depending on the strat, we discuss those strats. Even today for bifurcation, 90% we use DES only, but sometimes depending on the good vessels, only focal lesions, very short segment lesions, where remaining vessels are normal in some cases, I would like to more often use BVS compared to DES.
Dr. Sridhar, we would like to go to Bangalore. If you want to do something, please can you show us immediately?
Yeah, BVS will be yeah.
Thank you. That was a nice case. Can give him a big hand.
Not yet finished.
Not yet finished. Want to do another case?
No.
Another part of the case? I thought you were going
No.
to Bangalore.
No, we are, after he's going to implant a BVS, I think one more.
He showed us some part, no?
Yeah, he showed
Still
one
doing
part.
some.
He's going to absorb.
He another wants to put another one?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought he had finished.
So we are going to Jayadeva
Okay.
now?
Okay. Sridhar, we'll come back to you in about 10 minutes time. We'll just see what Jayadeva has lined up for us. Thank you. Can you go to Bangalore, please? Can we go to Bangalore, please, Pratap? Nahi? Nahi? Okay, Sridhar, you are in luck. Jayadeva is not fully ready. There's some problem in the lab, so mechanical problem, not a patient problem.
So now tell us what you're going to do before you do it, because the last time you did it and then we saw it. So tell us now what you're going to do.
First case also you can show the first one. LMCA, LCX, that
No. Let's see this case first. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Can we go to Bangalore, please?
this one, that one.
Yeah, okay. 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 Yeah. Wait.
You have 315. Sometimes what will happen, they will have wire wires. Those
Okay.
the wire wires are very common. Then after that, you may have to put the another body wire crossing.
Are we going to Bangalore? Hi? Just as soon as we go to Bangalore. Hey,
Why do we have any questions or comments from the audience? No. Dr. Sridhar, can you just continue to tell us what you're doing, because it's been rather quiet this end? Can't hear us?
Give me another wire, body wire. Is it wire wires? We'll put the another wire.
What are you doing, Dr. Sridhar? Let us know.
No, actually, because wire is aligned with the stud, so sometimes it will not go. In that case, what you have to put, you second wire, body wire, to avoid the wire wires, and then you can put the balloon and wire plate. So what happens, these wire wires are very common in BBS. Most of the time, when the wire is aligned with the stud, so the balloon cannot cross. In that case, better to take another wire and cross it, and then over that you put the balloon.
So now you're putting a buddy wire.
Sridhar, we are back with you. Can you tell us and show us some final results or something?
This is the post dilatation of the second BBS. After we implanted the BBS, we are doing the post NC dilatation. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, that's don't go for that because it's real device. Yeah, that just go to 8 or 10. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Just go to 8, not 1. 1. Yeah, direct. Okay. Yeah, detail. Now we can see the diagonal BDS markers as well as LED BDS markers. Then again, once again. Now see, nice result. Even the diagonal spread is very well maintained, good anti-grade flow, not dissection, and LED is also much dilation. Now we'll show the post BBS OCT run. Yeah, that's it. Defect. There you get the take a shot. Yeah. This is a post BBS LED implantation. You can see the run is nicely open, no residual stenosis, no edge dissection. But anyhow, we take for OCT run, take the OCT. Are you able to hear?
Yes, we are able to. The second BVS that you implanted was what size?
Pardon?
Size?
3 to 28.
How much?
3 to 28.
Right.
3.5 NC balloon, that is up to 10 atmosphere.
3.5 up to 10. You didn't take very high pressure because you went with a 0.5 size higher. That's why.
So actually, post-bench studies have shown, like even 3 mm balloon, though the company recommended size is 3.5, but you can go up to 3.7. Even the 3.5 mm balloon post-BBS can go up to 4.2, become very steadfast. But maximum pressure recommended will go with like 3.5 bigger size, not to exceed 14 atmospheres.
We had a presentation, earlier presentation, and Dr. Praveen Chandra was emphasizing that this post-dilatation could go up to really high pressures of 28 to 30. So what is your view on that? I mean,
I basically go high pressure. I never take this thing up to just 10. I usually go very high pressure with the BVS because I believe that you really need to implant it adequately. I may not take, yeah.
So what we do generally, usually compared to IOS catheter, OCT catheter is not that much flexible. Trackability is less. When you push more, then sometimes life source will disappear. The fantastic what we do always, we pull the wire, along the wire, then we push it. Then most of the time it will pass. The other one, what we encounter, we will use EV catheter, OCT catheter, most of the time it's not. XP catheter always when we do OCT, we will take XP. And here we have done also 150 OCT as of now. So OCT catheter most delicate. Only thing by the resistance is there not to push. If you put the more resistance, most of the time light source will disappear. Now we will take the post previous OCT run to see how is the apposition. Most of the time the strut fracture will not be seen on routine CT angio. So that is the reason I feel it's mandatory when you go with high pressures, very to run BVS strut fracture. Now, okay, ready for reaction?
Post dilatation for BVS is quickly up and down like other drug-eluting stents, or slow up and?
No, when you're implanting the stent, it is slow. But when you're post dilating, it's normal.
It's like other DES.
That's right.
We'll have a look at the OCT from Dr. Sridhar and then go off to Bangalore because they are now ready, I believe, finally.
After that, I will show one nice complex case just now we did, and the LFCA, LCX, and LED diagonal bifurcation and LCX LED bifurcation. Just before starting this case, we did. You can see the OCT nicely approached and really nicely exposed. This is like a circular shape. Okay. That is a branch, and the branch is there. The diaphragm branch is there. There is small edge section. See, fully approached circular. These are the quadrangular boxes are BVS struts. Take one diameter. Then you can take the show the luminal area.
Very brief moment, we'll go back to Sunshine. And Dr. Sridhar?
Like a LMCA bifurcation lesion. Yeah, there is a LED diagonal bifurcation. Distal LCX very tight lesion. We did IVA study and go to the next. Then pre-dilatation, go to the next. Then alpha stent 2.5
लोडिंग
18 mm.
जल्दी जल्दी कराते
Next.
जाना, ये पूरा टाइम
Go to the next.
लोड करे होकर
Very tortuous LED and LED LCX very tortuous. Still, in spite of tortuous, the alpha act very well. So this is pre-dilatation. Go to the next. LFC dilation. Go to the next. Next. These are alpha stent 3.5 to 28 mm stent. Go to the next. Then go to the next. Next. Then post dilation 4 mm LC. Go to the next. 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 Post dilation. Then LED beyond the diagonal LED bifurcation, there is a tight lesion. Go to the next. Another alpha. It is low tortuosity is very high tortuosity, but still tracked very well. This is 2.75 to 33 strand, alpha strand. Go to the next. Then diagonal. Go to the next. Diagonal dilation. Go to the next. 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 Then kissing balloon, diagonal and LED, 3.5 and 2.5 mm. Go to the next. Go to the next. Next. Then LED dilation, diagonal dilation. Go to the next. Next. Then 4.5 NC dilation of the LFCA, arterial flaring. Go to the next.
Okay.
Next, there are now very well opened LFCA, but suddenly the patient had a pain. ACT was low, so the LCH showed thrombus. Then we got clamp migration. Go back. No, go back. Before dilation, go back. You are moving forward, backward, 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 back on next. You see there is haziness in the L6 ostium. Go to the next, 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 next. You are not sure. Next. No, forward. Go to the next. Last, forward, fast, fast. Then L6 was dilated. So this patient had a severe LFCA and a distal L6 lesion, diagonal lesion and middle AD, 2 distal AD lesion. The patient was stented with 2 orphan stents, LFCA and LAD, and 1 orphan stent to distal L6. 2 kissings were done. One is like a LFCA and LAD, LFCA to LAD, another one LAD and diagonal. So just before this case we finished this, we wanted to share this case. Any questions or any suggestions? Am I clear?
Yes.
Sorry if I missed, but did you do any stenting into the circumflex or only balloon dilatation of the circumflex?
Circumflex was stented. The brachial L6 were not stented. It's only kissing.
Only kissing, no? Only kissing into the circumflex.
Same he did with diagonal.
Okay. So you just did a kissing into the circumflex.
Post kissing ability is looking very nice.
Yeah.
And there are no traumas and blockers. Ability to do well.
Yeah, these are, the only thing is that what is proven in these patients is that the highest site of restenosis is the circumflex ostium, you know. So this patient should have a repeat angio done after 3 to 6 months to look at the circumflex ostium, because you'll have a very high percentage of patients who come back with restenosis.
Yeah, commonly the block distribution from LFC related 90% of the patient. For L6 is about 76% of the time. And most of the time, we have to take the Ivestran or FFR. We did the Ivestran not only from LA2 to LFCA, we did the Ivestran from L6 to LFCA. L6 absolutely ostium is disease free. So when the ostium disease is there, or when patients have a long lesion or FFR value more than 0.8, then set
Why touch it at all?
So if you had a disease-free circumflex ostium, then why did you do anything over there? You said that you had a disease-free circumflex ostium. Is that correct? No, once you say disease-free ostium, then you do not need to touch the circumflex ostium unless you can keep a wire there and you can do the, no, I'm just a point of view, not to say a point of, so if you had just stented the left main to LAD, kept a wire down your circumflex, even if you have a minor plaque shift into the circumflex, but if you have a TIMI3 flow into the circumflex, there is no need to do anything about that circumflex. If you have significant disease in the circumflex, since you had the...
Probably because the LAD and the LMCH junction was very
Okay.
very thick fibrotic plaque, and even after stent implantation, when we are negotiating the balloon,
Fair enough.
balloon was not going freely. That time when we went, I think some plaque might have migrated.
Fair enough.
Thank you, Dr. Sridhar, for showing 2 wonderful cases. A big round of applause from the audience, please. A big. Thank you very much. Right? We'll take your leave. Thank you very much, chairpersons.